Hi, and welcome back to Baking and Brewing with Bob and Dominique. Today I have a dry hop cider ping pong from Modern Times and a cidery in Vermont, Shaksbury. I'm not too familiar with their products, but very excited to try this. It's a bi-coastal collaboration involving some hops in cider.
Not your typical combination, but definitely caught our eye.
Citra and Amarillo in a cider? What? Okay. Let's see what happens. Now I will say that this is not the... They do a 2.0 version of this. I think that's a newer version of this cider.
Smells like hops. First
So
good sign.
Yeah, I mean, if it's over a certain amount of time old, those hops could drop out. So, oh yeah, I get a way interesting note. Almost a dank note off this.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how cider interacts with hops because it's the bitterness and it's the sweetness.
I like the cider sweet on the tongue. That's nice, and it balances this earthiness. I think I'm getting like a earthy, a little bit of a herbal. I don't get a much citrus taste, but I get a lot of...
I get a little bit of a sourness.
Ooh.
Like, and I think it's the bitter combining with the sweet. It almost makes it... It's still sweet, of course, because the cider comes very apparent. But then the bittering aspect of it, it is a little earthy.
Yeah, there's an earthy on the palate, which is really interesting.
Almost like it has, and like on the retro nasal, it's a little bit even resiny.
Yeah, it's not a beer. It has a lot of beer qualities. Definitely still a cider. But 6.2 ABV, not bad. And I like that there's still a crisp, like crispness on the tongue. Like I feel a certain mouth dryness.
It's light. It's lighter. It's not as like certain times with cider, because of the sweetness, it's a little bit sticky or heavy on the tongue.
Agreed.
And this one is very just smooth. It rolls right off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is really nice. I think I might buy this again. Like, really well done. Modern Times and Shaksbury. It's a really great collab.
Great carbonation too. It's not overly carved, so it's not too bright. It still lets that sweetness come through.
Yeah, I maybe I would handle a little bit more carbonation, personally, just to give it a little bit more body. And I'm curious if that extra carbonation might bring out more of the hop character, right? More bubbles, more surface area for those volatile hop compounds to really flourish on the palate.
Maybe.
Glad I snagged
let's see.
One of these because I think that was the first release. So
we
will definitely have to review 2.0 on another episode. I can taste the fact that there's probably like 3 or 4 different apples in here.
Yeah, it's not all one flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's this rich sweetness, almost like a Golden Delicious, but then there's this nice pucker that has a very Granny Smith vibe to it, and then there's like that tannic from like a crab apple or something like that, or maybe another like red varietal.
When I typically do my apple pie, if I do with caramel, I use Granny Smith because they're really tart. But if, say, I want to do something a little bit more spice, then I would probably use more like a little bit of a Golden Delicious, some Honey Crisps. But every apple has a different taste. So it would make sense that same ways that brewers do different types of malts, different type of apples.
Always a great idea. I love the blending. You get a nice textured flavor, which adds to the complexity. With that hop note, yeah, I'm getting more of a resiny dankness. Not so much citrus because the apple is still there. You can tell in the nose. You can tell
it's the apple.
Yeah, but that's not the most undesirable thing.
It's the earthy resiningness that I think they were trying to get.
Yeah, and it kind of dissipates as you get further down in the glass. Like the first pour is like got probably the most aroma.
The apples just take over, and then all you start tasting is that sweetness.
Look at the last pour. I probably would have drinking a full 16 ounce myself, and I don't normally drink cider, as I may have said once or twice on this show.
But you really like hops, so.
I do love me some hops. All right. Cluster strawberry. Ripe strawberries blend harmoniously with hibiscus and unfiltered honey to make a delightful pink craft beverage. 8%? Oh man, what are we doing? And that's light for a mead. It's like half strength.
I don't want to.
Glad they put it in a 12-ounce can because this is probably like a one-hit wonder for a lot of people.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Here we go. It's nice and, I would say like almost like a rouge or an amber even. I don't know if I would say pink.
It's more on the red side.
There's a noticeable strawberry note, but like a sweet strawberry on the nose. And then I get a little bit of that honey back end.
Mostly on the nose. A little bit on the finish for the strawberry.
Now this tastes more like a strawberry like gusher or there's like that.
It's hard to say strawberry. It's almost like it's more like a fruit punch.
There are these strawberry mini pies in the gluten-free section that they make, and this tastes like that turned into a mead. Is exactly what it tastes like, because they use like oats or honey in the crust, and like that's exactly what it's reminding me of. Is that like sweetness? There's this honey, like very very rich sweet from the honey, and then there's this like slight like strawberry preserve taste.
This one's really hard for me to figure out, actually. I don't know how to describe this one.
It's like literally biting into the mini pie. every single taster of this.
It tastes really dark.
If that's possible, it's like it's almost like the honey was cooked in a sense. Like there's this like deeper,
like it's been caramelized.
Yeah.
Or it's on the verge of caramel.
Or maybe maybe it's a caramelized strawberry. Maybe that's what it's reminding you of, right?
I don't know. It's good.
It's really interesting. If you've ever had Special K with strawberries in it, it also has a little bit of that like dried strawberryness to it.
That I get. That I totally understand.
That was pre-going gluten-free.
Yeah, that was. That was some good cereal. It was like Frosted Flakes with dehydrated strawberries.
Yeah, really interesting. I would say complex.
It's like deep. I don't know if it would say complex so much as deep.
I would say slightly umptuous. I don't know if I would be able to drink more than 12 ounces of this mead, specifically because it has such a richness to it.
It's more on like the heavy, rich side than it is on the other side. It takes a while to pick up the strawberry smell. For me, it's been later for me to get the strawberry, and then it's definitely one of those darker honeys because the flavor of the honey is so rich. That's why I'm thinking it's like caramelized. Like I'm not a honey connoisseur.
I'm not getting any hibiscus. I'm not getting any hibiscus. That's what really interesting.
Is that what they said was in there?
Yeah, and this is from
with hibiscus.
It's made by Two Towns in Corvallis, which is cool. They make ciders, but you can also make. I
normally love other
meads.
stuff.
And so it says, honey strawberry wine with natural flaor, FLAOR, and apple brandy added. Apple brandy. Is that why I'm getting that richness?
That's the caramel.
That's got to be that caramel.
Yeah.
That explains so much, and it's also probably why it's 8%. Holy crap!
Yeah. Wow, brandy with apples. Go figure. A mead.
Yeah, now I'm just like literally just. I feel like I'm just tasting like apple brandy with like
I can't
honey
believe
added
we
to
didn't
it.
guess that. It's great tasting, but I feel like it's more like an aperitif. Like,
how do you mean, like a vermouth or what?
It's like it's definitely like a small glass serving size, like right before or right after a meal. Like
but
more,
yeah,
the more I drink it, the more it's like a dessert wine. But that's
why
we don't.
Skinny glass.
Yeah.
I want it like almost like a champagne in that ballpark, but I feel like I can drink more champagne in one sitting.
This is intense.
Moonlight Meadery, black currant. I love the thought of that. I love, typically you get a lot of tannins This is a black currant and apple session mead. So that's really interesting. Let's see. Let's read ahead. We got surprised last time.
Well, I kind of like being surprised.
Well, it's made with love. That's good. It's got black currant, apple, and honey. So it looks like black currant may be the main ingredient in this, if it's listed first. And they are in New Hampshire. Well, there you go. This mead product has traveled a long way to be here in Costa Mesa, California, because I also got it from a friend who's in San Diego. So here you go.
Fizzy
Do this a little higher.
Yeah, your glass is big.
Nice. Pour.
It's a mead, if I do say so. Just much.
Interesting. Yeah, the black currant is very heavy on the nose.
I think this one's going to be sweeter than
This is like a session mellow mel. Or was that a cider?
What?
Yeah, it's like, usually you do fruit and honey, and that's a mellow mel. And usually you get your dilution with the honey from the fruit juice. So these are massive, massive products that can get really high ABV. I would say that black currant and red wine go hand in hand. I'm not getting a lot of red wine notes off of this, but I'm getting black currant. Like was what I'm used to smelling sometimes that in a red wine.
It tastes, but you were also mentioning how it tastes like grape, but like a berry grape.
Oh yeah, this is very. What's the ABV on this one? Session mead.
Let me guess, 7.5.
6.8. How is that session?
It's a mead. It's a session.
You guys want to put everybody underground. Jeez.
I mean, it's very delicious.
It's a lot of berry. It's very sweet. I would like it a little bit drier and a little bit more tannic myself.
Oh man, if it had a little bit of that tannicness,
it would be a little bit higher drinkability factor.
It. Yeah, that dryness
Yeah.
really balances up. That's why I think the hopped cider was so good.
It had a nice balanced appeal.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit drier.
I bet you this would be really good to cook with. Like, this would be a great thing to, like, marinate with.
Yeah, honey has protease in it. I wonder if it would still be there in a finished mead.
Well, you think about it, why not?
Well, it's, the yeast is eating a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, it would be interesting to see this in a marinade.
Yeah. I'd try it.
Honey...